It makes it easier. So I want to encourage us. I missed you. I miss you so much.
You need to get out more often.
No, you have to move back more. Also, it feels like this masad, this journey towards real something. You keep on meeting the most gorgeous neshamas and families that Hashem said, I'm plucking you, you're done with Galut, come here, and they're surrounded. I met another best friend in my road this Shabbos. Everyone said Big Shalom Aleichem to the Farachis this Shabbos. Yes. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. So listen to this. This is just imagine that Aaron Karlin is saying this, not me. Okay? Try and imagine Aaron, not the first one, the second one, the grandson. Rebbe Aaron Karliner. And he said like this. He's the grandson of the one that said, oh, yeah, my, yeah. You can hear that nigun, and now hear the story. In Karlin, in the town of Karlin, there was a miserable, rich, loaded, filthy rich misnagid. Okay? Miserable, filthy rich, and not so much into the Baal Shem Tov, okay? And he was miserable. Across Mamish, either it's across the street or next door to him, was a poor Shabapur, a Nebuch pauper, that was Besimcha, and he was a Chassid. And it drove the rich man crazy that this neighbor of his was always Besimcha. And every Friday night, when he's busy throwing dishes at his children so that they Mizaris the Seuda, whenever he's hearing Smiras by his neighbor, and it drove him nuts. I have everything, and I'm miserable. He has nothing, and he's so Besimcha. Drives me crazy. But the night that he was most nervous about was Sukkot, because their Sukkot would be outside next to each other, and they'd hear this mamish face to face. So what did he do? Everyone knew their parnasa in that town, and Karlin depended on him. So he went to all the stores that would possibly sell wood, or sell however they made sukkahs. And he said to him, you're not selling a sukkah, no matter what. If you do, we're done with business. Because to think of having to hear the nigun of this chassid, right next to him, Sukkot night was for him worse than anything that he could imagine. Baruch Hashem, we have no idea what that's like. But apparently it existed. The chassid is looking, Erev Sukkot, from Motzei Yom Kippur, store to store to store to store, and he's not, he can't find anyone to sell him a sukkah. And he realizes, something's fishy here. Something's going on here. It must be that my shachen, my neighbor, made sure that no one would sell me sukkah. So he's, what's he going to do? So here there's two versions of the stories. I heard Rebbe Shlomo say each version, so to say the one that I like more. So he said like this. He says, what is he gonna do? So he finds himself walking down the street near the cemetery in Karlin. And basically, the Malach HaMavis was taking a walk down the street too. The angel of, I don't want to say I already said it in Hebrew, I don't want to say it again. The angel of not so much life was strolling down the street in Karlin. And he bumps into this Yid, to this Simchat HaChug, and he says, and the Simchat HaChug says, what you talking about, Willis? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? So he says, I'm here on a shlichus. I have a strong mission tonight. What? I have to go and kill your neighbor for what he did to you. So this Yid, this chassid said, you don't have to kill him. He's dead. He's just walking bones. He doesn't have any life in him whatsoever at all. He's gurnished mit gurnished. He's nothing. He's nobody. You don't have to kill him. Trust me. You don't have to kill him. So listen to this Gedot. So the Malach HaMavis says, so what could I do? What should I do? So this Karlin, the chassid is like, to tell you the truth, I don't have any we're here by the cemetery. You probably feel at home here, but I don't. It's very weird, but I knew that there's only one place that I could possibly get a sukkah. Back then, you know, today when the tombstones, we have tombstones, and it says on the top of each tombstone, Pei Nun. It doesn't mean, it's not a pan, if you know what that means. It's not a pidyon nefesh. Pei Nun stands for Po Nitman. Here rests, and then you fill in the rest, right? Po Nitman, and then you fill in the rest. So there's tons of these, they prepare it there in the cemetery. For those that can't afford a real tombstone, they prepared all these planks, all these pieces of wood that said Pon Nitman, and there was a pile of it. Malach HaMavet says, this one's on me, free of charge. Take all the planks that you need and build a sukkah. Can't believe it. It's the day before Sukkot. He was able to build the biggest sukkah. But the thing is, you realize it's like half tombstone. Basically, his sukkah is all these different planks that say on it, Pon Nitman. Pon Nitman. Mamish, Pon Nitman, yes. Here rests, here is the chassid, right? And suddenly, the neighbor is sitting in his sukkah and he saw this something. He's like, this year, none of that simcha in my face, right? And he hears the most gewaldig singing. He's losing his mind. He goes outside of his sukkah and he sees a sukkah made out of tombstones. And the chassid sitting inside, little tiny piece of challah, maybe like one leftover piece of herring from second day Rosh Hashanah. Who knows what he had, right? And he is just so beside himself. I can't believe this. What happened? He says, listen to me. I want to tell you what happened. You were supposed to be taken out of here tonight. But I told the Malach HaMavis that you're already dead. You're walking around. You're not even alive. And at that moment, you know, you have these moments, like, what am I doing here moments? At that moment, the Misnagid just, his heart cracked wide open. He's like, how did I reach this low that I have everything in the world? I have all my future trips planned to Bermuda, to wherever I need to get to. I have nothing lacking in my house. I am married, I have children, I know how to learn, and I'm so bitter. How could this be? So he turned to the chassid, he said, what should I do? He said, well, right now I know what we should do. Right now we have to sing together a nigun in my sukkah, Ad Lev HaShamayim, until the gates open up for you to find a way to believe in your own innermost nekuda, which has to be simcha. And then, after Yontif, you and I are going to go to my Rebbe. You need a soul master. You have to go and meet Rebbe Aaron Karliner. You have to go and meet Rebbe Aaron Karlin. Your heart's now ready to hear words from someone that's pashut me'od, in Malach Hashem Tzvokos. The end of the story is that this Misnagid he didn't lose all his money. The end of the story, I don't even know what happened to his money. But I do know one thing. He became one of the top Karliner Chassidim. This year took him to Rebbe Aaron Karliner. He became one of the top Karliner Chassidim. And it's a Zman Simchasenu story. It's a Chag HaSukkah story. But it's really an everyday in our life story. Everyday in our life story. You know, sometimes you see people, you're so jealous of them. You know, they're driving a car that's basically like a Pon Nitman kind of car. You know what I mean? It's basically like the car looks like a funeral service, and the home looks like you know, it's not so much in our neighborhood, but it does exist outside of the Efratian borders. That is, you know, and you're wondering like, what are you so happy about over there? And they can look at you in the eye and say, I have everything that I need. I have everything that I need. That brings the most simcha in the world. Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Rebbe Nachman, Ben Feges Chesed Yagelenu, always does this. Yiddishkeit starts the moment that you realize that everything you need to be in Eved Hashem, you have. When I take that into account, and I really open my heart to it, boom, Yiddishkeit begins. A personal relationship with the Rebbe Nachman begins. It starts right there. So I want to give us all a bracha, schus of Moshe Rabbeinu, Raya Mehemna, the Ushpizin of tonight, and the Tzaddik Yisod Olam Rebbe Nachman ben Feges Chus Yagen Eleinu, and in the schus of the Chaylim HaKadoshim, that it should be crystal clear to us, everything that we need in order to be Avdei Hashem, we already have. Now it's just the shaila of how much I use it, how properly I use it. All the inspiration that we need in order to be good, we have it. Gushing with inspiration. Everywhere we look, we already have it. Now the whole shaila is, what do I do with it? And the bracha we say, the Yiratzon that we'll say Hoshana Rabbah, towards the end of Hoshana Rabbah, when we're leaving the sukkah, we say the Hoshana, we say the Yiratzon, and we beg the Ribbon Shalom, the Seitiv Lanu HaChasima, we say it also in the Ilah, but we also say it when we leave the sukkah, and at least in my Yiratzon, that the ceiling should be good with us. We should feel good with how our lives have been inscribed this year. If I could believe that everything that I need in order to be an Eved Hashem, I already have, that's a pretty good inscription. That's a pretty good inscription. If we have that, we have everything in the world. So I guess we have everything in the world because we have that. We're pushed to have it. Now it's just a shayla, like we say in that same Yehiratzon, and I want to take this sukkah with me into the year. I want to take these oros, this sitting down, Motzei Shabbos, Ushpizin of Moshe Rabbeinu. I want to take this with me into the year, shlep my sukkah, shlep it with me wherever I go, and Be'ezer Hashem, like that, wherever we'll go, we'll be living sukkahs, we'll be people that make people feel invited and welcomed. HaPeres Sukkah Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Amo Yisrael V'al Yerushalayim. Amen.